What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we are going to be going over the Flash series finale. I'm also wearing my epic Flash ring. Bruh. But yeah, let's dive into it. Alright. So, how I'm gonna pretty much lay this out is I'm gonna do a summary of the episode first. Then I'll go over my issues within the episode because there are a few. And then after that, I'm gonna go over like the positives and what I really liked and what I really enjoyed. And then at the end of the video, I will give my rating. But real quick though, before we get started, I was looking at some reviews on YouTube for the series finale. I was looking at people's comments, like throughout different videos and from like clips and stuff. From what it seems, there's kind of like two areas that people are kind of like leaning towards. Like one area is just kind of like people like completely hating on the Flash series finale and that it didn't really do like the show justice. And then there's another area that I'm pretty much in where people thought that the series finale was pretty good, but it did have its issues. So yeah. But yeah, let's get started though with a little summary of the episode, or a summary of the episode. I don't know how big it'll actually be and how long I'll ramble on, but so we start out in the opening scene with the before there's something I need to tell you, but there's something I need to tell you, but you must do something first. You must believe in the impossible. So yeah, there's that little reference in the opening scene, just like at the beginning of the pilot episode, which I thought was like at the perfect place, the perfect time. It was pretty good. And I'm pretty sure there's a reference kind of like later to this as well. And also, before I forget, the title of the episode was just called Finale. I feel like they could have really. I know this isn't really about the summary, but I don't know. They could have had a bit of a better title than just Finale. Although I guess it suited it well. I feel like if they wanted to go for like a one-word title, though, they could have gone for like, I guess they could have gone for like, I don't know. The title Birth would be kind of weird, but they could have gone for something like Impossible or Faith or Believe maybe, but I guess Finale is good. I guess, Finale is a fine title. It's a good title. It is the series finale, so I guess it's kind of fitting. But yeah, anyways, so yeah, we get that little like Impossible reference in the opening scene. We have like Allegra like kind of responding to the reference, saying like, "Eddie is cobalt blue. That's impossible." But yeah, we got some like Team Flash dialogue, and then we get into the juicy stuff. So, the speedsters all are summoned into the negative speed force, and these speedsters consist of Reverse Flash, Zoom, Savitar, and Godspeed. And I'll talk more about this scene later because I really liked this scene. This was definitely one of like the iconic scenes and like one of my favorite scenes of like this whole finale. But yeah, so after the speedsters kind of like ramble on about like, actually, I guess I'll talk about it a little bit. So pretty much the speedsters are kind of like rambling on about like, oh, I'm the fastest man alive. And then the funniest thing happens where Reverse Flash calls Zoom a Velocity 9 junkie. Man, I was actually laughing though a little bit in that scene. That was a hilarious scene. And man, when he calls Zoom that, I was like, oh snap. And then, Savitar straight up appears, and then after all the speedsters are kind of like rambling on, Cobalt Blue kind of comes in, says like, oh, I could give you speed. And then we see the debut of the Cobalt Blue suit. It looks pretty good. It looks comic accurate too. But yeah, I like the suit. It's definitely a great villain suit. So yeah, we have that little scene. All the speedsters kind of vow revenge on the Flash. And we get Reverse Flash doing his little like eye vibrating thing at the end, which I thought was cool. It was a bit odd to see him with it like with him doing it unmasked, since we're so used to like seeing him do it masked, but it was good. It was good. I liked it. But after this funny, hilarious speedster scene, this is where the craziness happens. So, Barry ends up going back to the hospital to see Iris, and then Cobalt Blue straight up appears with flowers, and he kind of talks about like how like the negative speed force is giving him everything he's wanted, and that he has to kill Barry. And then after his little spiel, this is kind of what I predicted actually was going to happen. I guess I was kind of close. Like for the most part, like there was some shocking stuff, but I was right about one thing actually. All the speedsters having red lightning. I know that's kind of led to later, but yeah, all the speedsters do have red lightning. So I did predict that. But yeah, I'm not gonna flex a ton or anything on that. I thought I'm happy I predicted something. But yeah, so we get the scene of Iris saying "Run, Barry, run." So once again, another like iconic line and iconic bit. It was fitting for Iris to say it, considering that Wells or Cisco or Caitlin wasn't there. So I'm happy that it was Iris, or like Daniel Panabaker wasn't there. But yeah, I'm happy it was Iris that said it. I thought that was pretty fitting. But yeah, so we get that scene, and then we have Barry versing Cobalt Blue. And it was a pretty short, like, interaction. Cobalt Blue running to me, though, looked kind of odd. Like, his head was kind of down a little bit, and, like, the running was kind of odd. But, it wasn't... I don't know, I was fine with it. I was fine with it. It was still good. It was a good fight scene. They got the sabers out again, bro. They went back to the speedster sabers. They looked cool though. They looked good. The CGI was good in that scene. But after this though, Cobalt Blue gets the upper hand on Barry, and Barry gets smashed through a line of cars and glass. Man, that must hurt. Barry gets beaten up so much in this episode. It's actually crazy, but yeah, so we get that Flash versus Cobalt Blue fight. And then after this fight scene, Nora actually ends up saving Barry from being attacked more by Cobalt Blue. And then we have all of Team Flash show up. Well, like the members that we have. So yeah, we got Chester, we got Allegra, we got Cecile, aka Virtue. Also, I was watching Paige's review, and honestly, they never specified if it was present day Cecile or future Cecile. I assumed it was present day, but after like the fight scene later, I honestly don't know. I felt like they should have definitely said, although I guess Nora kind of alluded to like Cecile like calling Nora from like 25 years in the past. So I guess it is present day Cecile? I don't know. But yeah, so anyways, we have Nora, Cecile, Allegra, we got Keone, and we have Chillblaine. Those are the 5 people, yeah. Yeah, so those are the 5 people. I just realized, was it a 6v5? What? There was no way. There was no way that was a 6v5, right? Yeah, Keone, Allegra, Barry, Cecile, Keone, Allegra, Barry, Cecile, Chillblaine. Maybe I miscounted. No, I didn't miscount, huh? That's odd. Oh, maybe Chillblaine wasn't there. I don't know. Was he there? Man, now I don't remember. But yeah, anyways, though, after Barry is like, united with his team and everything, Cobalt Blue decides to bring his Legion, which I heard was supposed to be the Legion of Zoom. So yeah, we got Cobalt Blue, Reverse Flash, Savitar, Zoom, Godspeed. And yeah, so yeah, they all come out. And I gotta be honest, like after like the commercial break, because I don't know if there was a commercial break or not. I think there was. The scene, this was kind of another like cool scene that I liked. I did like it how all like the speedsters, like all like the villains, kind of had like their own little like monologue thing. We had the reverse flash monologue thing, like, and he pretty much says like, "You didn't think I was gonna miss how all this turns out, did you?" And then Zoom says something like, "We're gonna end your team's legacy" or something. Savitar, and then Godspeed kind of, or actually Keone talks after Zoom talks, like, "That's not gonna happen, Hunter." And then Cecilia, or wait, no, then Godspeed ends up saying like, "You don't stand a chance," and he says that he likes Keone, like what she said. I guess I don't know what that was, but yeah, we get that little bit from Godspeed, and then Savitar says we're going to change the future, and then Cobalt Blue says this is your, or Cobalt Blue says surrender, Flash. But yeah, I like that scene, like the introductions thing. That was good. That was a good scene in this episode. So yeah, we have that little scene, and then we have Team Flash like up against all the speedsters. We have let's see. The matchups I thought made sense, honestly. Like in like context, it seemed to make sense like throughout like the 9 seasons. So we have Savitar versus Nora, which I think makes sense because, Savitar is pretty much like a Time Remnant version of Barry. That made sense. Let's see. We had Keone and Chillblaine versus Zoom. I guess like Keone v Zoom made sense because like, Zoom and Caitlyn had like a big relationship in season 2, like, or the relationship was kind of like a focus of season 2, like mainly towards the end. Well, actually, no, pretty much the whole thing. Yeah, pretty much all of season 2, because, Zoom was pretending to be like a fake version of Jay Garrick. So we do have that. And then we have Cecile versus Godspeed, which also kind of made sense because of the season 7 finale, I guess, when like Cecile and Hart were kind of like talking, and I guess, they were kind of referencing back to like that Heart of the Matter part 1 and part 2. So I thought that matchup made sense as well. And then we had Allegra and Chester versus Thawne, which I guess Thawne kind of looks like Nash, so I guess that's why they did that. And then we had Barry versus Cobalt Blue. So yeah, I'll probably dive deeper into the fight scenes later, but yeah, so yeah, Barry went to go up against Cobalt Blue. We then end up getting that scene in Jitters where like Barry and like Cobalt Blue kind of like crash through Jitters. We don't really see exactly how that happened. I guess they were just kind of fighting, and I guess instead of phasing, they just decided to break the windows of Jitters. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't phase. Also, all the speedsters do have red lightning, so I was right about that. Although I think I said that earlier, but yeah, Cobalt Blue having red lightning, I guess, was fine. I mean, if they did like a mixture of blue and red, or maybe blue, it would have looked cool. Like a light blue would have been cool, like a Cobalt Blue. He is Cobalt Blue. That would have been cool. But that's okay. I guess it's fine that they stuck with the red lightning. So yeah, Cobalt Blue pretty much like threatens to kill like innocent people in Jitters. And then this was so shocking. I liked this scene. This scene shocked me. Jay Garrick comes in from a distance, ends up stealing Cobalt Blue's speed. Like at first they showed him with the saber, and then the saber was like shrinking. And I was like, what? And then, yeah, it's just Jay stealing Cobalt Blue's speed. Also, I don't know how exactly that would work, considering that they're part of like 2 different speed forces, but I guess that doesn't matter. I guess it still works. Like, why didn't Barry? Oh, wait a minute, though. I guess Barry kind of like took Thawne's speed, didn't he? Well, he kind of like just zapped Thawne, I guess. But yeah, we had that scene. That scene was good. Um, I liked it. I liked it a lot. And then we get the scene where kind of like, well, after like Jay saves Barry, Barry pretty much mentions that like, or wait, no, this is what happens. So the speedsters are all unconscious after their fights. So what happens is Cobalt Blue absorbs like the essence, or he pretty much absorbs all the speedster's speeds, makes them fade away. And yeah, so after that scene, Cobalt Blue pretty much says like, "Oh, I'm gonna keep getting negative speed until I'm the fastest man alive." So yeah, that pretty much happens. Then he ends up like getting away, and then Barry says pretty much that like Eddie is gonna like overload. If he overloads with the negative speed force, he would kill himself. So yeah, we get that little tidbit. Or did Jay say that? Either Jay or Barry said that. But yeah, then we get the scene with Keown, Chillblaine, Jay Garrick, and Barry. And then we pretty much have Chillblaine saying like, "Oh, maybe we should just let Eddie Thawne die." And then Barry just straight up yells at him. I was wondering why. But it wasn't because Chillblaine did something wrong. It was just because, Barry wanted to still save Eddie. So I guess that's why. But yeah, Barry, and also the reason why he didn't want Eddie to die is because the crystal would just pick a new negative speed force avatar, and yeah, then the cycle of craziness would start all over again. So yeah, we get that scene. That scene was good. And then we get a scene with Barry and Keown, which I thought was also a pretty big standout. But yeah, we have Barry and Keown talking. Barry's still kind of yelling a little bit and is a bit frustrated, saying like, "For the past 9 years, I have watched the people I love suffer and die." So yeah, we get that scene. Also, I don't remember when the flashbacks come. I kind of have an idea. That might be towards the end though, but I don't know if we get any flashbacks during like the action stuff. So yeah, we get Barry and Keown talking. Keown tells Barry that like all living things have to like coexist in peace, and she tells Barry, "Believe in the impossible." What a quote. What a quote right there. So after that scene, Keown ends up like teleporting Barry into the negative speed force. And then we get the final fight between Barry and Eddie, which was pretty good, but I don't think it was the best. Although this man, I don't know why I don't know why I think I'm laughing at this, but this is kind of what this reminded me of. So Barry tackles Eddie. It reminded me, I guess it kind of reminded me of season 1. Did Barry tackle someone in season 1? I don't know. Maybe it was Everyman. But yeah, we see Barry pretty much like tackle Eddie. That was pretty much like the one like fight thing he did. Because pretty much for the rest of it, Eddie just keeps beating up on Barry to let his rage out. And I'll admit, that was crazy. Like, and then you see, like, the blood, like, as Eddie, like, punches Barry on the side at one point. That was crazy. And this is the other thing, too, about the episode, is that, like, throughout the episode, like, Barry just ends up getting, like, more cuts on his face and stuff. And then his suit is, like, like, stained or something from the glass. But, yeah, that was pretty crazy. But yeah, so we get that fight scene, and I'll admit, I like the red lighting. Like, especially at the end of season 6, when Barry fought Eva in that final fight in the finale. It kind of looked like a little too much red lighting, but yeah, the red lighting and the negative speed force I think is pretty good, though. I don't know, does the positive speed force have, like, yellow lighting? I don't think it does, but yeah, that part was good. So yeah, we had the final fight. We have the final confrontation. Pretty much Barry just kind of like says like a sentence or two. And all he really says is like, "You're trying to become, or you're becoming the man that you died trying to stop." And I guess that kind of convinces Eddie to, or maybe it's also because he kind of let all his rage out on Barry already. I guess that's kind of what also convinced him. But yeah, Eddie destroys the crystal. Him and Barry, like, did they shake hands? I think they shook hands. And then you can see that Barry is like crazily beaten up. Like, jeez, he looks so beaten up. It's actually crazy. But yeah, so Barry and Eddie, I think, shake hands. They're pretty much like come to terms. And Iris is, and he congratulates Iris about, giving birth and all that. So we get that scene. Barry ends up, I'm pretty sure, I think Eddie is the one who teleports Barry, or is it Keon? I'm pretty sure it's Eddie after they shake hands, but yeah, so Eddie gets teleported, or not Eddie, sorry, Barry gets teleported to the hospital where Iris is pregnant, and we get this scene with Caitlin and Timeless, or actually, wait. Oh, that's right, I forgot. We also get this scene with, like, Team Flash. We get Joe back and Nora saying, like, oh, am I breaking timeline rules by being here? And then Team Flash just responds like, no, you're fine. But yeah, we get that scene somewhere in there. But yeah, so Iris gives birth to Nora. Barry gets to see it. It's beautiful. It's amazing. What epic life. I felt like that this bit was kind of centered around life, because then we get Keon and Timeless Wells talking. Also, Timeless Wells was like, I'm surprised that it was just for like a few minutes. Or it was kind of towards the end, but really that's kind of like the one like scene he gets. Like without like kind of just being like an extra in the background. Although we did get a ton of like, Thawne stuff, and that was good. It was interesting to see him play like two different Wells as well. I mean, we kind of got that in season 5 too with Sherlock, but yeah, that was cool. Something I kind of wished is like maybe we could have gotten like Timeless Wells versus Thawne. That would have been funny. That would have been funny because they're played by the same actor. Well, it's because it would have been, or it's funny because like it would be interesting because then they would just keep saying like, "Hey, you look like me" or something like that. It's kind of my idea is kind of similar to that like one deleted scene they took out of like Crisis on Earth X when it was Harry and Thawne. That would have been cool though. But yeah, so we get like Keon and Timeless Wells talking. Keon pretty much having like pretty much Keon has to like ascend. And yeah, so Timeless Wells talks to her and says like goodbyes can be hard. So yeah, we get that scene. Timeless Wells is also looking very spiffy. So yeah, we get that scene. That scene was good. Also, we never saw a Tess, did we? Besides, like, the flashbacks. That would have been cool if he brought Tess with her. What? Oh, man. I don't know what happened with that. But yeah, so we get Timeless Wells and Keon, so we get that scene. And then after this, we get one of the most, like, epic scenes as well. And I wonder how much of the CGI budget they had to spend on this. But we have Team Flash saying goodbye to Keon. And then when Keon ascends, like there's a ton of the elements. I'm pretty sure it was fire, water, and earth. Maybe ice was mixed in there too. But yeah, so we get that scene of Keon pretty much like, oh hey, fire, water, grass. Those are the like 3 like Pokemon symbols, or 3 like Pokemon options you get. But yeah, that was cool though. So, oh, I just realized. Imagine if Keon was a speedster. Oy vey, she'd be so overpowered. But yeah, so we get that scene with Keon leaving, and it turns out like when Keon ascends, like Caitlin is pretty much back. So yeah, Caitlin has her body back. She says hi to Barry. She says hi to all of Team Flash. I'm happy they brought Caitlin back. Let's freaking go. I'm pretty happy about that. Although it felt like they brought her back pretty late, but see what well I'll go over that more, or I'll go over that more later. But yeah, so we get the scene with Caitlin and Barry, so we get the scene with Caitlin and Team Flash and Barry and Caitlin hugging. That was great. So yeah, we get that. And then I believe we forward to about like a week later from like when Keon leaves. And then we end up getting a baby shower scene with Barry, Iris, pretty much the whole gang. I'm pretty sure we have Speed Force Nora, Timeless Wells, Jay Garrick, Singh. I feel like for the most part, it's pretty much people who know that Barry is the Flash, except for like Bart. Oh yeah, that's the other thing too. Bart wasn't in this episode at all, so that was kind of odd. But you know, and the actor couldn't come back. But man, that's all right. That's all right. It was still a good episode even without Bart. Oh, that's right. I forgot to mention too. So there's this one scene I believe before the baby shower when like Iris gives birth. Iris is trying to like calm the baby down like after she gives birth to it or something. And Joe ends up singing, or it's a few minutes after Iris gives birth, but Joe ends up singing a song and I liked it. I thought it was good. Like I'm pretty sure I watched this one review hating on it, but I liked it. I thought it was good. But yeah, the singing scene was good. I liked it. And then I'm pretty sure that's when all the flashbacks showed from like season 1, season 4, season 3. Or was it might have been the scene where Keon also says believe in the impossible. Maybe some flashbacks showed up there too, but we got a little like flashback montage thing that was good. But yeah, so back to the baby shower scene. Everyone's pretty much united together. People are seeing the baby. Everyone's chatting. But yeah, we just get like, and then we get a cool dynamic between Barry and Caitlin after Caitlin calls Carla. So yeah, we get that scene. Barry and also I'm so happy. It's like finally we've come to this. I'm pretty sure it was what? Like, in the Flash's timeline, and even in our timeline, I think it's been like a year, just about, when Caitlin's lab ended up getting destroyed. And now, finally, we have Barry and Caitlin making amends. Holy cow. But yeah, I'm happy that scene happened. But yeah, that was good though. I'm happy they're made up. I'm happy that that's out of the way. So yeah, that was good. And after this, we have Joe talking about the baby shower, being proud of. Did he mention anything? Joe pretty much mentions Nora. Whoops. But yeah, Joe mentions Nora. He mentions Iris like giving birth to Nora and stuff, pretty much like congratulating them. So yeah, Joe announces that, and then he does maybe a very odd thing at the baby shower to do. He proposes to Cecile, and when I watched this, I had absolutely no idea that they were not married. I had no idea. I'm pretty sure no one had any idea that they were not married. It seemed like they were already married. But okay. Okay. If you want to have that scene in there, I guess you can have that scene in there. But yeah, so we get that scene. Oh, that's right. I forgot to mention this scene. I don't remember exactly when the scene was, but Thawne, like in one of the fight scenes, he was killing Chester. And actually, Chester does end up surviving. I was gonna go more in depth into the fight scenes later. But yeah, so Chester ends up surviving, and it's because of his like black hole energy that he has inside of him. So I guess he still has like black hole energy in him, even after he wasn't like a black hole anymore. So pretty much he's kind of still a metahuman. So that was pretty interesting, and that was pretty lucky that he did not die to Thawne. But yeah, so we have that scene somewhere in there. And then after the baby shower scene of Joe proposing to Cecile, aka the final side character scene we ever get. Why did I sound like a sheep doing that? I don't know. But yeah, we end up getting the final scene. The final scene of the Flash series finale ever. So pretty much what happens is we have Barry and Iris. The baby Nora starts crying. Barry is about to pick up, or he looks at the runaway dinosaur book. But then Barry picks up Nora because Iris says, like, oh, Barry, she likes the sound of your voice. But yeah, so Barry picks up Nora, and he pretty much tells the story, or he starts telling the story of, like, how he became the Flash and all that. So yeah, we get that bit. And then we get another thing that no one was really expecting. We end up getting, so pretty much what happens is, we end up getting a scene with, like, Barry running over to, like, the Ferris Air area, which Team Flash has been to a few times before, or Barry's just, like, run by it. So, yeah, we get that scene. Barry pretty much, I did not know that Barry had this power, and I guess this was kind of like the one power that, like, was unique, I guess, and, like, we'd never seen before. Barry actually chucks lightning into the sky, and it ends up striking 3 people. And, well, we don't see, like, the strike happen, but we hear, like, the thunder. So, we get Avery Ho, who we've seen in season 8, episode 6, was in the future. Then we get Max Mercury, who was played by, like, a Native American actor. And then I thought this person kind of looked like Quicksilver, but it's supposed to be Jesse Chambers. I haven't read the Flash comics, so I have no idea as to... I've heard the name Max Mercury. I've seen Avery Ho in the show, but I have no idea who Jesse Chambers is. But, her hair kind of looked like Quicksilver's hair. So yeah, pretty much we end up hearing the thunder. We have Barry, like, narrating. So at the beginning of the narration, as Barry is speeding over to Ferris Air, he pretty much says that, like, we have been blessed with these amazing gifts. And then he talks about how, like, maybe this should spread to other people. So, yeah, we get that scene of Barry throwing the lightning, and then we see him and Iris, like, on the bed with Nora, pretty much talking about, like, how they've created a new world for their child. So, yeah, we get that scene, and then we see the final run, and Barry's final quote is pretty much like, I think he says, you can do the impossible as long as you believe in it, something like that. And then that's the final scene we ever get of the Flash, is Barry running in his Flash suit saying that. Wow. And then there it is. This video has been over 30 minutes long. Oh my gosh, that's okay. That's okay, it's fine. It is fine. But yeah, so there's my summary of the whole episode. And now let's go into the issues I had. So, the number one issue I had with this finale, well, actually, kind of like 2 number 1 issues. So, the 2 of the number 1 issues I had, I'll go over the first one. Let me let out my rage real quick, actually. Bro, why? Bro, why did this happen? What is happening? Cecile was a big issue for the series finale. I know the Cecile lovers are gonna hate me. And also, I like Cecile too. I like her as a character, but I feel like she had way too much screen time. I felt like that she was very focused on in this episode, similar to episode 12. Although I guess, like, it was better because of the action and, like, the shocking stuff. Like, I thought her stuff was good, but I feel like there was too much of her. You know, we had that Cecile versus Godspeed fight. She was legitimately flying. Like, where did that come from? When did she learn that? Did she, like, in her, like, training of learning how to use her powers, Did she just figure out how to fly all by herself? But yeah, Barry says in the fight scene, execute. Actually, you know what? The big issue itself was actually the fight scene. The fight scene is pretty much where most of these issues are stemmed from. So yeah, we get the big fight scene, right? So yeah, we have Cecile flying, we have Godspeed, using his speed. He summons his clones, and then Cecile just takes him out and all of the clones very easily. Why? What the heck? Like, I feel like, well, and also, like, the other fights were good, but I feel like that Cecile, man, I don't know. But yeah, I feel like Cecile was just, like, way too focused on. So yeah, that was one issue I had. And also, what kind of stemmed from this issue is that I feel like we needed more Barry in the fight scene. I know, like, we get Barry with, like, the final fight and everything, but I feel like that there was barely any Barry, like, in the Team Flash fight scene. Like, I really wish that we had more of, like, his speedster fighting with Cobalt Blue. Maybe them doing some cool, like, speedster tricks or something. Like, I know we've seen like, a ton of speedster fights in the show, but, bro, it's called The Flash. It's called The Flash. Like, you gotta have more speedster fights, right? It's not called Flash and Virtue, where Virtue flies in the air and easily defeats Godspeed. That was a good and, kind of interesting fight. Like I said earlier, all of the fight scenes made sense. As to, like, how, I guess, like, all of the fight scenes made sense as to, like, I guess, like, how they were paired up, like, how the villains and the heroes were paired up. But still, though, yeah, Cecile was kind of, I don't know, like, I feel like we should have had a little less Cecile in the episode and a little more, like, Flash in the fight scene specifically. But yeah, I think that's would have definitely made this a lot better. And then another issue that stems from the fight scene is that Thawne was defeated way too easily. Like, I'm really disappointed in how this is kind of like the biggest disappointment. It's not even that Cecile defeated Godspeed. It's that Thawne was defeated so easily. Like, I feel like that Thawne has just turned into a very cocky character. He's like, oh, I'm going to kill the Flash. So pretty much what happens in this scene is that he does sit in, like, the iconic, like, Wells wheelchair. And we end up seeing him trying to kill Chester with his lightning, with this Sith Lord lightning. Which I like. But yeah, Chester is pretty much, like, on the ground remaining dead. Then Thawne gets shot by Allegra. And then Allegra says Chuck, like, a gajillion times. And yeah, and then Thawne's talking about, like, oh, I get to kill your boyfriend, and now I'm gonna kill you. And then Allegra just uses, like, a lightning pulse that kind of, like, breaks all the glass in Star Labs too. And then Thawne is just unconscious on the ground, and then Chester wakes up because he still has black hole DNA in him, which saved him. So I guess, like, how that kind of works is that I guess, like, Thawne, like, electrocuted Chester, and then all the electricity kind of sucked into the, like, black hole DNA of his body, I guess. But yeah, so Chester survives, which was honestly kind of shocking, because I really thought that Chester was going to die, but yeah, we have that scene. But yeah, I just wish that Thawne's, like, final fight was better. I feel like that he really deserved, like, more justice. So there was that. And then the Nora and Savitar bit of the fight scene and the Keon and Zoom part of the fight scene I didn't really have any issues with. But yeah, so pretty much what happens in the Zoom fight is that Keon and Zoom are, like, fighting around and stuff. Like, all of, like, Team Flash kind of gets, like, their own, like, small, like, like, speedsters running and they're flying and stuff. But yeah, so Keon ends up cornering Zoom in a tunnel, and we have like Sing and like a ton of the CCPD cops like fighting back, or they're like ready, like they say like put your hands in the air, Zoom. But yeah, that was good though. I liked that scene. Chillblaine just kind of stood there and did absolutely nothing. But yeah, Keon literally absorbs Zoom's lightning, throws it back at him, and then that's how Zoom is defeated. So Zoom gets defeated very easily. And then Savitar, it felt like that we did, like, this is kind of referencing back to not really getting a ton of Barry. But yeah, we don't really get a ton of Savitar either, though. So yeah, with Savitar, we pretty much get him, like, speeding around and stuff with Nora. And then, Nora, it looks like she's stabbed, but then she ends up, like, phasing, like, out of the stab or something. Or she was, like, in the middle of a phase as Savitar kind of stabs Nora. But yeah, that was interesting. It wasn't really that noticeable at first until they, like, actually showed it. And then Nora pretty much like stabs Savitar in the armor, and that's how Savitar is defeated. Like Savitar gets defeated so easily too. But yeah, and then but yeah, this was kind of like a big issue, I guess, that people were kind of like disappointed with. I wasn't really that disappointed besides like the Thawne one. I really thought that Thawne definitely deserved more like justice considering it like how long he's been in the show and stuff. I really thought his season 8 send-off was a lot better than his send-off in this series finale. Because it seemed like the Thawne was very sidelined in this episode. Like, I know we had the whole, like, Speedsters meeting scene, like, like, he did, like, his acting is really good in, like, everything. But yeah, I don't know, like, in that Team Flash versus Speedsters fight scene specifically, he just seemed to be very sidelined. So, yeah, we have that. And then, this kind of, but yeah, this issue is kind of like more of like an overlying issue. So we end up getting like, you know, all the speedsters meeting each other, right? And we get like the fight scene with Team Flash, and then we get the final fight with Barry. This was also another big issue I had. The action scenes felt really rushed. Specifically, like, from when, like, Cobalt Blue summons all the speedsters, which I guess is fine. I guess you don't really have to show a ton, like, how they got there. But yeah, that felt kind of rushed. The Team Flash fight scene felt kind of rushed, too. And then the final fight as well. I really thought it could have been better. Like, there should have been more of them, like, at least, like, punching or something. But it was just kind of like Barry getting his butt kicked by Eddie and then using, like, the power of words to convince him. Like, it was still a good resolution. Like, it fit well, but it wasn't really the best resolution I think the series finale could have done, so that's my personal opinion on, you know, the final fight. But yeah, some of the scenes, though, felt, like, really rushed. I feel like a solution to kind of, like, solve that was to kind of, like, chop down some things from, like, the resolution and just kind of, like, the wrap-up. Not specifically, like, the very, like, ending scene, but maybe I guess you can, you know, I guess you could kind of, I don't know what you could chop out, because I wouldn't want the Joe song to be chopped out, but yeah, I'm thinking, like, you know, maybe you could, like, chop out, like, a few of, like, the resolution bits and stuff. So I feel like you could have done that. But yeah, so there was that issue, and I didn't really feel like that Iris, Joe, and Caitlin weren't really there a lot in the episode. Like, Iris was just kind of there in the beginning and then towards the end, and that was about it. Like, we didn't really get, like, Iris. It would have been kind of neat, I guess, to see, like, Iris get, like, speed if, like, Barry, like, granted her flash time or something. Like, considering how, like, Barry and Iris's relationship has kind of grown this season into, like, a bigger thing. I actually wouldn't have minded seeing that. I know some people would have hated that, but I wouldn't have minded seeing, like, Speedster Iris. See, this is another thing with the fight scene. is that they nerfed the speedsters so bad. They nerfed them so bad. Like, I know Team Flash is supposed to be, like, leveled up and all that, but the speedsters felt so nerfed. So that kind of stunk a little bit, but I guess it still worked fine. You know, they had a lot to cram in within one episode. So, you know, they tried. I think they did pretty well for the most part. So, yeah. You know, besides like Thawne being sidelined, that really disappoints me. But yeah, Jay Garrick also wasn't really in the episode too much at all. So there was that too. Like he really showed up in only like a scene or two. And then Joe really only appeared towards the end, which I guess worked fine because, you know, they pretty much wrapped up a good amount of his character anyways. And then Caitlyn, I kind of wish, like, came back earlier as well. Like, maybe she could have been the one that said to Barry, like, believe in the impossible. Maybe, like, Hyun ascends and maybe, like, Barry isn't convinced yet and then Caitlyn is to convince Barry. That would be kind of cool if, like, she was able to do that. But then I guess you want to really have the Timeless Wells scene. Unless if it was like with Barry. That would have been cool. This would have been so cool because we didn't even get a scene, I don't think, at all of Barry and Star Labs. Like that was another thing too that I heard. Is that we never got a scene with Barry and Star Labs. Like maybe besides like in the flashbacks, but yeah, we could have gotten a scene where like Barry's kind of like, you know, going to Star Labs, maybe like reminiscing, maybe looking at like some sort of like old photo or something. Maybe it could have been Barry and Caitlyn. And then Timeless Wells comes in and is like, hey Barry, I've came or something. I don't know. Or I've come. But yeah, that would have been cool to see though. That would have been a neat idea. But yeah, besides that though, besides those issues, I think I mentioned everything because I think I mentioned Savitar earlier. But yeah, mainly though was just that like action scene. Like the action just felt kind of rushed. I just felt like we needed a little more action in the series finale and a little less of like the resolution stuff. And I feel like the series finale could have worked out a lot better. And we needed more Barry. Less Cecile, more Barry. Like Cecile, I feel like was like involved way too much. But yeah, those were kind of like all of my issues. And let's talk about the positive stuff. The CGI was great. I mentioned that earlier. It looks good. The lightsabers look a lot better, all that stuff. The fight scenes were pretty good, but not really the best they could have been. Like, especially that final fight. The final fight, honestly, was a bit underwhelming. It wasn't super underwhelming, but it was a little bit. But yeah, I guess the fighting was pretty good, like the action and stuff. The speedster scene was hilarious. How they're all like arguing about like how they're the fastest man alive and all that. Reverse Flash just straight up calls Zoom a velocity junkie. And man, when Zoom and Godspeed first see Thawne, that was pretty funny too. How like Zoom thought it was Wells, and then Godspeed was like, oh no, that's Thawne who helped the Flash defeat me. And also, I'm happy that they mentioned this, but they said that Godspeed was from 2052, like when he was like up against Impulse. And I'm assuming maybe I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's where he killed Jay Garrick and then maybe Impulse like kills him back or something. But yeah, we get that scene, so that was good. Also, I just realized though, 3 years later, after like 2049, Godspeed dies. Dang. But yeah, that was something we didn't really see on screen, but you know, it worked well. And then, you know, and also for those of you wondering, like the reason why I think we saw Savitar in the suit a lot instead of like Pizza Face Barry, I think, like I heard this from Paigey as well, the Flash YouTuber I pretty much watch. But I think Barry was originally supposed to be in the Speed Force scene, but he ended up getting sick with COVID, and you know that kind of hindered him from being in like the last few episodes, like as much as maybe he would have been. Like especially 11, I'm pretty sure that's why 11 was so Team Flash focused, is because, you know, Barry was sick. So I think that's why we pretty much had Savitar in the suit the whole time. Although I think Pizza Face Barry was originally meant to be in like the negative Speed Force scene. I gotta be honest though, something that would have been cool is if we saw like maybe Eddie like create like a Savitar Flash ring. That would have been cool to see. But yeah, the speedster scene was funny overall. I enjoyed it. That did get a few laughs out of me. So good job, writers. Good job. That was good. And then the ending scene was very, very epic. I feel like it was a great closing to the show, and also how like the Flash's legacy and powers still spread like throughout the timeline. And hey, the Flash, Barry and Iris had their happy ending, and nobody died. I don't think anybody. Whoops, I just spit. But yeah, I don't think anybody died, which was surprising. But you know, it is what it is. That was good. You know, happy ending. Woo! But yeah, that ending scene was epic though. I enjoyed it. And I thought that all the characters were wrapped up nicely. Like Allegra, Chester, Cecile, Caitlin. But yeah, it seemed like, oh, that's right, I forgot to mention this issue. So another issue I had, and another like pain in the neck, is that we had no reference of Cisco. I feel like the easy solution would have been having Caitlin calling Cisco, saying like, "How are you doing at Argus?" instead of Carla Tannhauser. But oh well, that's okay. But yeah, I think all the characters were wrapped up nicely though, and I know Cisco wasn't in the series finale, but I think he was wrapped up well anyways. So yeah, that was good. You know, especially him, you know, remarrying Barry and Iris. That was great. In season 7. That was the season 7 finale, not the series finale. But yeah, all the characters were wrapped up nicely. That was nice. Wish we had Cisco. And the final positive that I have for the show, or for the series finale, is that shocking factors kind of occurred everywhere. So yeah, we got the shocking factor of like Jay like stealing Eddie's speed. We had no one in Team Flash dying. I guess another shocking thing was kind of like how all the speedsters were defeated easily. What else? We had Barry tackling Cobalt Blue. I thought that was kind of a shocking thing, and him like getting beaten up so much. Although I feel like that's what a superhero series finale tries to do, is beat up the hero so bad. But although Barry wasn't beaten up as much, though, as in Season 6, well, the end of Season 6 with Eva, I don't think... Oy vey, I remember that. Season 6, Episode 17, that was brutal. That was one of my favorite episodes of Season 6, though. That might be controversial, but Season 6, Episode 17, what was it? Liberation? I thought that was good. But anyways, though, back to the series finale, you know, all the shocking factors in it, I think, really made for a good finale. Even Barry just kind of, like, suddenly, like, popping out of nowhere. Like, how did he get back? See, that was another confusing thing, is I don't really understand that too much, because he wasn't able to travel to the year 2000, but he's able to travel back to 2023. So maybe the crystal just prevented him from, like, traveling forward in the future? I don't know. That was odd to me, but overall, though, you know, the shocking factors were good. And yeah, here is my rating. So my rating for The Flash series finale is a 9.85 out of 10. That is what I truly believe the series finale to have a rating of. And this is also kind of based on like where I ranked other episodes. So I believed this episode to be in third place in the top 3, above episode 12, above episode 11. So yeah, I believed this to truly be in the top 3. The only 2 episodes that really beat it are Season 9, Episode 9, and Season 9, Episode 10, which is number 1. Honestly, that episode was pure perfection, in my opinion. Like, I had, like, no complaints about that. I had, like, no complaints. But yeah, that episode was good. And you know, season 9, episode 9 was the Oliver Queen episode. That one was good too. That one was almost like pure perfection, besides a few issues, but but yeah, I believe that this episode deserves this rating of a 9.85 out of 10. I think it's pretty good. It has its issues, it has its complaints, but I think these issues are still big, but I don't think it really hinders down the good stuff. So, that's my opinion. The only disappointing thing, like I said earlier, is that Thawne could have had a better send off, but to leave off on the positive side, the Flash is over. I liked that ending. All of the new speedsters. Barry sort of having a new power to grant his speed, I guess permanently, to other speedsters. Because I didn't even think about that, because with Flash time it was really only temporary, but I guess it's permanent now. So, I guess that's cool. And also, I asked this question to Paigey, but speaking of Speed Force Nora, for anyone that's wondering, she is alive again. Because I think she was, like, one of, like, the extras, like, in the baby shower area, so that was interesting. That was interesting. But yeah, 9.85 out of 10 rating, I think that's pretty solid for the series finale. Still one of, like, the strongest episodes in Season 9. And yeah. Thank you guys all for watching this video. How long has this video been? 56 minutes. Holy cow. I apologize, but I honestly don't know if I am going to add images in this episode. Or not in this episode, sorry, this video. Just because it would be so long to edit, and I don't know if I would have enough time to do it before tomorrow. Or at least without, like, getting tired out, so yeah. I think I'm just gonna keep this video as, like, the raw footage, so I hope that's fine. I'll still have a thumbnail, though. I hope you guys, like, you know, understand what I'm talking about and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's just gonna... Because the thing is, I guarantee you guys would rather have it out tomorrow than Sunday. And I'm planning on streaming later today, too. What time is it, actually? I'm gonna check. Yeah, it's like 3:09. I don't think I would have enough time to edit it before I stream. And also I'm planning on having this video out tomorrow morning. So yeah. Yeah, so hopefully it's fine, but I won't have any images. You guys will just see me talking and raging and ranting, which I hope is okay. But yeah. I just won't have enough time to put images in before I stream. And, you know, like I said, my plan is to get the series finale video out in the morning. So, yeah, guys. Thank you all for watching. If you haven't yet, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and, yeah, for those of you that watched the live stream and the 2 Flash videos, thank you. And, yeah, we'll see if I do any more reviews on this channel or maybe on a second channel. I might not. I just kind of want to focus on what I enjoy on the channel, so yeah, we'll see. But yeah, guys, I will see you all next time. Peace out.